hello, my name is Savannah if you are new here, and I'm actually back in Canada. It is the academic year. I'm actually taking my classes remotely and I have a lot to update you on, so I thought I would do just a little bit of a recap on what my life has been like. I guess I'll start from the very beginning-ish. I started YouTube when I moved to Costa Rica because I was attending the United World College of Costa Rica, UWCCR. It's a series of 18 boarding schools around the world. I spent 2 years there. It was kind of like the last 2 years of high school for me. I did the International Baccalaureate and I loved it so much. I recorded a lot of my experience and that's how I got started on YouTube. I am originally from Canada. I'm from Ottawa, but I'm French Canadian. And after UWC, I went straight to university. It was during the pandemic, so it wasn't the most ideal time, but that's okay. I went to Minerva University. I'm still there. I'm in my 3rd year, which I think is your junior year. Minerva, for those who don't know, is quite an untraditional university. Students at Minerva live in 7 countries over the course of their bachelor's degree. So I spent my first year in San Francisco, which is where the university is based, and then I moved to Seoul in South Korea. Then I went to Berlin in Germany. Then it was Argentina. I was in Buenos Aires. And then most recently, I was actually in Hyderabad, India, and I have no vlogs from this time. And that's, I think, where I need to update you on that situation a little bit, because you would have seen that I went to Argentina. I didn't make that many videos about Argentina, but I did make a couple and I really loved it there. Honestly, it was my best semester ever. I was thriving in academics, thriving in life. I loved living there. I would live there again. I loved it. Our apartments were beautiful. And then I moved to India, which I was so excited about. I had been wanting to go to India since before Minerva, and it was probably the rotation city that I was most excited for. But it did not work out for me. I think the environmental conditions in India just didn't suit me or align with my health. I don't know how else to put it, but when I arrived in India, for starters, the airline I flew with, which is Qatar Airways, lost my suitcase. It actually never left Montreal, which is where I departed from, and I didn't have my suitcase for the first, I want to say 10 or 11 days, which was really hard because I didn't have anything. I only had my backpack, which had my computer in it, and I got a notebook and like electronics, like things you can't put on the plane. So that was awful. I was really stressed. I was calling the airline every single day. I had to buy a lot of stuff because I didn't have anything at all. I had no clothes except the clothes I was wearing on the plane. So lesson learned, by the way. Pack another outfit. I really don't know how I haven't learned my lesson. This was the first time I had only traveled with one backpack with me. I usually travel with a carry-on as well, so I only had like my personal item, and it was the one time that they lost my suitcase and I had nothing, and it just put me off on a really bad foot. I think the stress made my immune system just kind of collapse because I quickly got sick. Basically, the moment that I retrieved my suitcase, which I was lucky I did because I actually had to go back to the airport and I demanded that they gave it to me. I basically said, I know it's here. I had like figured out that it was in India at that point, and I just kind of waited for like 6-7 hours until they found it and brought it back to the residence. And after that, I just got super sick. I was sick for the next 30 days. I missed, like, I want to say 7 classes in those 30 days, which is really bad because at Minerva you have makeup work for all of these classes. So not only did I have to, well, not only was it awful that I missed these classes, but I also had to do so much work to catch up on all of my assignments and on my like mini assignments for my classes because I missed them. It was no fun. I felt awful. I was taking antibiotics. I was just bedridden, basically, which wasn't great. And the moment I healed from that, pretty much 3 days later, I had like this small little window of like really fun exploration, and then I got sick again. And I had told myself in that first time of being sick, because of how bad it was, I said to myself that if I got sick again, I would just leave. I couldn't do it. It was honestly such a bad type of sickness that I truly thought I can't go through this again. And sure enough, I did get sick again. I tried to stick it out, but about a week into that second sickness, I said, screw it. And I bought a ticket home. I didn't buy it home immediately. I booked it for March. So at this time, it would have been early February. I booked a flight home for late March, actually, because it was the cheapest I could find with the like most near departure date. And that's what I did. I basically survived for the next month. It was hard because I did kind of get these like half sicknesses quite a few times throughout. Obviously the food and the water has a lot of bacteria that can cause you sicknesses in India as well, so I was getting sick from that even though I was being so careful. I spent probably like, I want to say $200 on filtered water bottles and wasted so much plastic, which was heartbreaking, but that's just the nature of living in India. And I was really, really careful, but I just kept getting sick, honestly. I couldn't breathe properly, I couldn't see properly because of the pollution. It was like affecting my eyesight, and overall it just wasn't good. Just trust me, I wish it was working out for me. I honestly didn't want to have a bad experience. I was trying hard to keep hope, but yeah, it was not a good fit for me. So I've actually been home for about 2 weeks, and it's been really nice. It's obviously much colder here than it was in India, but I really am enjoying the fresh air. This brings me to my next, I guess, little announcement of sorts. So for the past 4 or 5, maybe 6 months, I have been applying to internship after internship after internship. I keep thinking every year that I apply to a lot, and then the next year I'm just applying to double. I think I made it to like 70, maybe even more at this point. On a whim, I applied to something called the Disney College Program. I had no idea really the details of it, what exactly it entailed, and I didn't think I would get it because it's Disney. I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, I'll try. It was, and is currently, the only opportunity that I have that is feasible for me right now, that is full-time, that would not complicate my life in terms of like living situation. Because I guess I should explain the DCP for those who don't know, because I didn't know. So DCP stands for Disney College Program. It is a 4 or 5 to 7 or 8 months program for college students in the US. And because I am an international student attending a US-based school, I actually do qualify for this program. They also do have an international program for those who are not US students. Essentially, it is just a job in Disney World. And I won't know what this job is until about a week before I fly to Orlando. And that's terrifying. I'll be staying in Flamingo Crossings, which is a dorm style apartment building, which is right by Disney World or in Disney World. I can't really quite figure that out, but that's the plan. That is where I'm going for the next few months. I leave in early May. I have the first arrival day, and that's what's happening, which is crazy. So I'm having a bit of an existential crisis. I thought, and I don't know if any of you relate with me on this, but I always knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I was very set on it, and when I changed my mind, it was pretty much like from 1 minute to the next, I knew what I was going to work towards. And I've always been like this. It was originally wanting to be, I think I wanted to be an interior designer. That was one of the first jobs I really, really wanted. And then it switched to wanting to become a like medical professional. Specifically, I wanted to be a radiologist. I've mentioned this before, but I loved bones. I don't know why, but I really loved that and I was really excited about that. And then in the International Baccalaureate at UWC, when I discovered I couldn't do 2 sciences and also do my visual arts class, I decided that I couldn't be a doctor anymore pretty much in that moment. Because if you don't know, I grew up just painting, drawing all the time. It is probably one of the first words I used to define myself, be like artistic or creative. I went to a specialized arts high school in Ottawa, my home city. So when I discovered I couldn't do both, I switched. I was like, I'll do international relations, I'll be a diplomat. And then I realized I didn't like that. And then at Minerva, I discovered my love for business and marketing and brand identity and those kinds of things. And I'm still very much in love with that. But I'm also at a stage now where getting this Disney internship is making me question everything, because one of the first ever jobs I wanted when I was really, really little was Disney animator. I wanted to draw those princesses and those characters, or just like be a part of that process. I used to sit in the cinema through the credits because I would want to read the names of the like members on the production team. I honestly had given up on that dream because from going to an arts high school where I was doing art every single day, I realized that I didn't want my passion to become my profession. I didn't want to hate what I should love. And so I kind of crossed art out of the options, and anything that would be like too directly related to anything artistic, I decided I wouldn't want to do. However, since leaving a specialized arts education, I do feel like I just don't do any art because it's really hard to find the time to do those things unless you have classes. And so this semester I had an arts class that I've really been enjoying. It's just fun to have an assignment be something that you love doing. I also love business, don't get me wrong. I actually think that those are the classes I enjoy maybe the most at the minute, but I just, getting this Disney internship really made me question. And so I'm at a point where I would really, really like to figure out what I want to do exactly. And I have a few directions I want to go in. Either the marketing, brand identity side of things that I was kind of already leaning towards, or animation. Specifically for Disney, I think that would be amazing. I really want an internship with them. Honestly, in anything. Okay, by internship I mean a major specific internship, or what they used to call a professional internship, which is more technical, more like a traditional internship, because the DCP's not really the same. It's more just like a job that they title an internship. But the other one, which is kind of random, I'll just throw it in, I've been considering product design as something that I might want to do, especially the user interface side of things, so UI. And I really don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, and honestly I think hopefully in the next few months I will have time to sit down and think about all these things and figure out what I want to do. But my current goal at this very moment, what I see myself doing, is the DCP and then hopefully transferring into a professional internship. That is my ultimate dream at this moment. That's what I'm going to work towards. So hopefully you'll see me succeed in that. And yeah. Aside from that, I just wanted to share this because obviously I'm moving again and I've never been to Florida. I've never been to Disney World, and I'm excited to show you my experience and my thoughts and my work uniform. That's so random, but I am excited to just experience what I've seen online. There are a few creators that put up a lot of content about their experience in the DCP or their experience working at Disney World that I have been just watching so much of, and I really appreciate that because those things really help me clarify what I want to do personally. I think there's a creator out there for almost everything you might want to pursue, as niche as like wanting to be a product designer for Asana. Asana's such a cool brand. I would love to work for them. I Google it. Of course there's a product designer for Asana making vlogs on YouTube, and I love that. I want to hopefully be able to show you some elements of my experience, and I also want to just put out content that I love and that I enjoy making, and I just thought it was important to give you a little update if you were interested, to just remember how I'm feeling now in a few years when hopefully I'll have succeeded at everything that I want to succeed in. And yeah. That's it for today's video. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I know this is kind of just a huge ramble, and I hope that you weren't too bored. Thank you so much for sticking around with me, and I'll see you in my next video, which will be very soon, by the way. Okay, bye.